You know, it was a good weekend for us. I thought we grew up a little bit. We got some valuable playing time for some newcomers and some younger kids. You know, finally got into a rhythm, I felt like, between both nights, and we're able to play well against two good teams. And we were excited about that weekend, but now that's over. Now, you know, our focus goes on to conference play. You know, I mean, everyone's in the same boat, so I guess if you're traveling, maybe that's a little bit better. You know, gives us an extra day to rest our legs a little bit before we get on the road. But you know, we play a really good Westminster team that's undefeated, and you know, it's our first conference game, you know, in the RMAC, so I'm sure it'll be sky high. And a really coached really well coached basketball team, and present a lot of problems. So we just gotta, you know, focus on them this week and try to get better.
I want to say with me, Amer, and Ryan, I want to, and the team actually, we want to give everybody, you know, we play hard, we should give everybody a tough play, you know. We come through a fight, we put on our shoes just like everyone else, so I think with that confidence, we should be able to compete and play with the best in the conference.
You know, I mean, there's not a lot of familiarity there. You know, we haven't played Westminster in several years now. We played them, gosh, 2 or 3 times. I want to say maybe the early 2000s or so, and kind of got away from it, you know, with them being in a different league. So yeah, it's definitely been a while, but they have a new coach. So either way, they'd be pretty new. But again, what I do know is they're undefeated, and watching them on film, I know they're really good. They play hard and they're well coached. So, you know, our biggest thing is just we want to focus on us and make sure we're getting better every day, and especially with a pretty new group of newcomers. You know, we just got to keep making progress. Felt like we did that this past weekend, and conference play or not, I feel like we just got to keep going in that direction. I expect it to be really good, like always. You know, I think there's some freshness there in terms of, I think 8 of the top 10 first-team All-Leaguers graduated or transferred. So, you know, that's pretty new. There are several coaching changes in the league. We're also adding 2 new teams. So, you know, I think it's just a real exciting time for the RMAC, you know, and all that stuff will get kind of played out as the season goes. But, you know, with the travel in this league, you just know no matter what the records are or where anyone's at, you know, it's just going to be a dogfight night in and night out in our league, and, you know, I expect that to continue.
Yeah, basically, it's all new for me, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt, and I'm enjoying the process. I'm loving playing in the RMAC conference, and I'm ready to see how it plays out. I know we're going to compete and play well. We just got to do it every night, day in and day out. We're playing plenty more games. I am noticing my role, you know, defending, getting extra possession, rebounding, hustling, knocking down the mid-range, and try to just keep the defense on their feet at times. So with everybody knowing their position, it's just going to help the team progress and win a lot of games.
You know, I think the most important thing was just trying to play well. You know, I mean, sometimes it's hard in athletics to know exactly, you know, if your shot's going to fall or their shot's going to fall or whatever it is. I think execution is the biggest thing, you know, and if you execute, you know, every possession, it's going to give you an opportunity to win the majority of your games. And, you know, that's what I've been really pleased with this group. They're extremely coachable. You know, Kabir's come in from a junior college at Northwest Tech in Kansas, and he's really found his role early and understands how much of a presence he can be defending on the perimeter. You know, I don't know if we've necessarily have had that the last couple years, so he brings, you know, a lot to the table that I feel like we haven't had. And, you know, he's just so coachable, such a good kid, and his teammates love him, and he's just done everything he can to fit in and do the best he can since he's been here, and you can see it now with the success he's having. We got probably 4 or 5 guys that could score 20 points in a game, and you know, last year if Ryan struggled a little bit, you know, that we might struggle a little bit offensively, you know. But like I tell our guys, I think if you can come and defend and rebound every game, you know, if you can really hang your hat on that, then you'll probably give yourself an opportunity again to win the majority of your games. But, you know, if you're going to have lapses on defense and problems with energy and things like that, then you're gonna probably drop some games maybe you shouldn't, and you're just not gonna be as good of a team as you can be if you're the type of team that can bring that consistently every night. So we've been really focusing and trying to emphasize that, and I think our guys have done a good job in practice trying to bring that every day. They have good practice habits, and then they play with energy in practice, and if you can build that habit, I feel like it can carry over to games consistently.
Yeah, basically, Ryan's a great player, love him to death, and teams will try and stop him as best as possible. So when he is doubled and triple teamed, our best effort is to find the front of the rim and just try to get open, knock down shots, and just make it hard on the defensive part for that team. So that's our best. That's our best thing to do. Like, just try and help him get open and help us find us. So I say.
Ryan's been doubled pretty much every game I think we've played. So, I think that's the thing we're going to find out, or is how teams are going to play him all year. I think he's going to probably see about anything and everything thrown at him. And, and that's fine too. We talk about not necessarily getting Ryan or anyone else an amount of shots or anything else. We just want to make the right play every time. We have good enough players to do that, I feel like. So, if they're going to take two people to guard Ryan, that means someone's always going to be open, and these guys have done a really good job of stepping up and hitting shots, and like Kabir said, getting to the rim. If they're going to double, we try to get those guys to the front of the rim, and it makes it for easy shots for those guys too, and I think anytime you can be balanced, and if Ryan's going to be good in the post, or whether you double him or not, but now, I feel like we can be really balanced with good perimeter play too.
Our main focus offensively is just find the perfect shot, Don't force anything. Just try to execute and have the defense work, That's our main thing, have the defense work. So when the defense work and gets tired, they can't really compete with Ryan, and then it makes it easier for us when they double him, and we'll just get wide open layups and just finish the basket.
I don't know exactly what works. Nothing really has against Ryan. He's really unique in his skill set at his size. So, again, what we're going to stress, and this even goes for Ryan, if people want to take it out of his hands, we have good enough players around him to hit shots. So what we try to really focus on is, like Kabir said, making the defense work. Don't let them off the hook by taking bad shots. And we can be a really efficient team, I feel like, if we're patient in a half court, and we can kind of wear people out that way. So hopefully, we keep that that trend going, and I feel like even if we're in a half court for an entire game, we're efficient enough where we can score a lot of points. That gives us a big advantage. But I think with Ryan, again, he's going to see a lot of different things, and we just got to do what's best in that possession, every time down. And I think if we just take a good shot, regardless of who's shooting it, if we just take a good shot every time down, we could be tough. Well, it's been big, and that's something sometimes and even when you have returners, everyone plays a little bit different role as people graduate and your team dynamic changes. But these guys, all have a pretty high basketball IQ. I felt like the first few games, shot selection could have been better, but that's with early in every single season I've ever coached, and you got to kind of work your way through that and having kids understand their roles. But they've done a good job adjusting to it again with so many new guys and young kids. And I think this team has a real desire to be successful. They get along really well. They're good kids. They really enjoy playing with each other. And regardless of how you're scoring or who's scoring, if you have that kind of chemistry, makes for a real fun year.
Yeah, me moving and bouncing around somewhat, it did help me. It helped me learn, like, what I need to do, what can I bring to the table, what kind of effort I want to bring to practice, and just try to be a leader. And that's basically how I roll and how I try to do things with basketball. And, well, that's what I've been doing. So me coming here, it definitely helped me. It made me grow up, and with Ryan and the other guys, and I like them a lot, and they're very cool guys, so it just made it a lot easier for me to just come in and figure out what I have to do to help this team.
Yeah, and I feel like we tried to address it through the recruiting process, you know, and anyone we ever talked to about Kabir or Amer, you know, their coaches, ex-coaches, that type of thing, you know, just had nothing but great things to say about them. Not just as basketball players, but as people, you know, and they're great kids and they're working really hard in the classroom, and, you know, we fully expected them to integrate well just because of the type of human beings they are.